You should never look under your bed at night. But if you hear laughter coming from underneath, run. Clowns are supposed to be funny, right? Bright colors, goofy tricks, and laughter. But what if that laughter wasn't cheerful? What if it was hiding something sinister? Tonight, we're diving into a story that will make you think twice before falling asleep. Turn off the lights, get comfortable, and let me tell you about the horrifying secret of Jingles the Clown. It all started with a family moving into an old Victorian house. Ellie, a 10-year-old girl with a love for dolls and circus stories, found an antique trunk in the attic. The trunk was dusty and locked tight, but curiosity got the better of her. When her parents weren't looking, she pried it open with a screwdriver. Inside, she found something bizarre, a worn-out clown costume with patches and faded paint, along with an old, cracked porcelain clown mask. Ellie was fascinated. She begged her mom to let her keep it, insisting it would make the perfect addition to her circus corner in her room. Reluctantly, her mom agreed. What no one knew was that this costume had a history. A dark history tied to a traveling circus that disappeared decades ago, leaving behind whispers of children vanishing into thin air. Ellie's obsession with the costume grew quickly. At first, it was innocent. She'd place the mask on her stuffed animals, pretending they were part of her imaginary circus. But soon, strange things began happening. Her mom heard giggling at night, thinking it was Ellie. But when she checked, Ellie was sound asleep. Items from the kitchen would be moved to bizarre places. The toaster on the couch, knives on the dining room floor. And then Ellie started talking to someone who wasn't there. "Who are you talking to?" her dad asked one night, standing in her doorway. "Jingles," Ellie said matter-of-factly. She pointed to the mask sitting on her nightstand. Her parents brushed it off as an imaginary friend. Kids have those, right? But things escalated. One morning, Ellie came down for breakfast with a red balloon tied to her wrist. "Where'd you get that?" her mom asked, puzzled. "He gave it to me," Ellie said, grinning ear to ear. "Who's he?" Ellie just pointed upstairs. The parents exchanged uneasy glances, but figured she must have found it in the attic. That night, Ellie's mom decided to move the clown costume and mask to the basement. She felt uneasy about it, like it was watching her, but she brushed it off. As she turned to leave, she heard something faint, barely audible. "Put, Mr. Back." Her blood ran cold. She spun around, but the room was empty. The final straw came 2 nights later. Ellie's dad woke up to the sound of laughter. Not Ellie's, but a deep, gravelly chuckle echoing through the house. He grabbed a baseball bat and made his way toward Ellie's room. When he opened the door, his heart sank. Ellie wasn't in her bed. The clown mask was, sitting upright, staring at him with hollow, lifeless eyes. "Ellie!" he shouted, but his voice cracked with panic. A giggle came from the closet. Slowly he approached, hand trembling as he reached for the door handle. He yanked it open, only to find nothing. The closet was empty, except for a single red balloon floating in the air. Behind him, the laughter grew louder. He spun around, and there it was. Jingles. The clown costume wasn't empty anymore. It stood there, its porcelain face grinning wider than humanly possible. In its hand was Ellie, unconscious, but breathing. "You took me from my home," Jingles rasped. "Now, I'll take her." The dad charged at the figure, but it vanished, leaving behind nothing but Ellie and that cursed red balloon. The family moved out the next day, leaving everything behind. The house was boarded up, and the clown costume was never found again. But sometimes, when the wind blows just right, people in the neighborhood swear they hear a faint giggle and see a flash of red in the attic window. So, If you ever find an old clown costume in an attic, burn it. If you're brave enough, click on the next video for another terrifying tale.